we are not quite sure if we're going to make it. 14% state of charge right now. We've got 30 miles on the battery, 24 miles to go. We're definitely cutting it closer than we've ever cut it in this car. We're heading out on another road trip, this time from Santa Clarita, California, down to San Diego, California. Usually I recommend putting in the entire distance into the nav, but we kind of know our way around, so we're going to be putting in San Clemente because we want to have lunch there, and then from San Clemente we'll put in our San Diego destination. So we kind of know this car and, you know, the routes and all that stuff, so if you're new to the game, go ahead and put the whole destination in. By the way, San Clemente has been updated since the last time we were there, so I'm excited to see the expansion and that sort of thing. Give you a rough idea of what this car is. This is a 2019 Tesla Model 3 SR Plus. Rated range was 240 miles. I saw that like the first week of ownership, and it's dropped since. First year of ownership of a Tesla, you see the most drop off on a battery. It charges to about 205 to 210 now. Bottom line is it still gets us everywhere we need to go. So let's take a look at the nav real quick. Nav'd to the Supercharger in San Clemente. It's estimating we will arrive at 32% state of charge. That's what the map looks like from Santa Clarita down to San Clemente. It looks like it's having us take the 5. We were going to take the 405, but, you know, let's listen to the nav and get there when it says 12:28. It's a good lunchtime. So let's get on the road. If you're not familiar with Los Angeles and you happen to be a Dodgers fan at the same time, that's a very narrow group, I understand. Stadium Way is coming up, and if you were to take that exit, right in those hills, behind those hills, is Dodgers Stadium. I have been there many times. There's the exit right there. We are coming up on the San Clemente Supercharger. We've been here before. I think last time it was a 22 or 24 stall, and now it's much, much bigger. In fact, it's showing there's 29 available, so it's clearly way bigger than it was.
77 on the right.
And we decided on this one because we want to have lunch here. And we have, what, 69 miles on the battery right now.
In 500 feet,
33%.
onto Avenida Vista Hermosa.
And I think the original estimate was 32% arrival. And look at that. We've also noticed on this stretch that the nav has been so accurate in terms of the time that we would arrive and the traffic and taking all that stuff into account. It's been pretty amazing. We're going to try a new restaurant. It's not a new restaurant, but we haven't eaten there ever, called Ruby's, and it's right near the Superchargers. So I anticipate plugging in, going inside, ordering food, and then having to come back out to move the car, because supercharging is awesome. It's super fast, but if you're, you know, wanting to enjoy your meal, wow, look at that view. That's cool. If I recall, the rooftop here is amazing. The view.
We're following a Tesla that's probably going to go in there too.
Turn left.
Yeah, that Tesla ahead of us, I'm sure, is, and there's an X pulling in. I have a feeling we're going to see a bunch. What is the amount?
Now turn left.
49 stalls, of which 28 are available. That's a 250. I'm not sure if they're all 250s because there was an original install at some point. You can see the picture here. That's what I remember. Okay, we're in the parking garage. So where are the... I can see the Superchargers up ahead. I see Teslas everywhere. They must have moved already. Well, we can see them up ahead. We'll go ahead and hook up, and then I'm going to probably move it into this covered parking just to get some shade.
Now your destination is on the left.
Oh, they're way up there now. That's fantastic.
I can't really see that. Yeah. Wow, it's busy here.
So this is where we were used to. Oh my gosh, look at over here. This is incredible. It's all the way up now.
Oh my, this is a big install.
None of this was here before on either side. That's where they've added them. That's pretty amazing. This is all new. So I'm gonna put it right here. And I think our restaurant is right around the corner, so.
We beat the white one in here.
Yeah, well, we've been here before, so we knew to cut the parking lot. All right, we are gonna plug in. This is all new. This whole section is completely new. And it's mainly probably because it's close to the shops and stuff. Here we are, we're plugging in. It doesn't reach?
Nope.
Major fail. All right, let me hop in. Let's make it work. Boom, plugged in, ready to go. So that section is kind of the original section, and that's what we remember before. And then over here, which is where everybody is parked and charging and all kinds of stuff. This is pretty cool. So we're gonna go ahead and charge, grab some lunch. All right, so on the screen it says 20 minutes remaining. What did you have it set to on the battery? Yeah, slide it over. We're gonna need some around town driving. This is a different kind of road trip. I typically would not recommend charging beyond 65, 70%, but we're just gonna get it charged up, have enough to get there, have enough for driving around, and then not have to worry about it the rest of the trip. Okay, so we are navigated to where we're going next, which is Belmont Park. We're gonna take in some roller coasters while we wait for our room. Our check-in's at 4 o'clock. We're gonna have lunch first while we're supercharging. We're at 41% state of charge, 87 miles on this particular car. And so I have a feeling I'm gonna go inside, order some food, and then I'll have to come back out and move the car. So that's the plan so far. Let's go get some food. Oh, what's this? You have enough energy to continue on your trip. Well, that's great and all, but I want to make sure we've got enough for around town. All right, heading back to the car. It's almost ready to go. It was ready to go before we started. So this is an unusual kind of road trip in that it's pretty short. Los Angeles to San Diego is really not a big deal. So we are, opportunity charging. We're having lunch anyway, so we're going to top up and, get enough charge so we have enough for our trip to get there, but also enough for, driving around town and not having to worry about charging so much. So normally on a road trip, what you want to do is, at least for me, if you're new to Tesla, if you're new to electric cars, your instinct as a gasoline car driver is go to the pump, put it in, fill her up. And that's just not how it works with EVs. You kind of want to live in the, at least for me, in the 5 to 65 to 70% portion of the battery. And the reason for that is the fastest portion of charging. Once you get past 75, 80%, all the way to 100, it just slows down so much. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of people waiting in lines time. And really, it's faster in the grand scheme of an entire road trip to charger hop between the 5 and 65, 70% range, because you're optimizing the charging speeds. You're using the fastest part of the battery. So try that out on your next trip. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully you're not already, charging to 100%, because these are not gas cars. They do work a little bit differently, and hopefully that tip will help you out a little bit. All right, heading back to the car. Actually, ooh, it's right there. And check out the view, just so many Teslas. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the entirely new portion of this supercharger installation. If we pan over here, there's not many over there either. That's the older portion. There's still plenty of chargers over there. And when the new ones get busy, I'm guessing those get busy as well. But here we are. Here's Tesla tips and trips right here. And we're gonna go ahead and unplug and move it into the shade, because it's 106 inside despite cabin overheat being on. I'm not sure what's going on there. So let's go ahead and unplug, take a look at our stats. There we go. Let's hop inside. I should have a burger waiting for me when I get back to Ruby's. So there we go. We are at 85% state of charge. 181 miles on this particular model Tesla. Put that back to 85. like I said, that goes against what I just said in terms of charging to 85%, but I was ordering lunch and all that kind of stuff. So we are going to do some roller coasters at Belmont Park in the San Diego area. It's estimating we'll get there with 59% state of charge. It's going to take us an hour if we were to leave right now, but we're going to have some lunch first, and that's the plan. So right now, I'm going to head inside the parking garage and grab some shade. You may be asking why we decided to move the car rather than just leave it there charging if you're new to this whole game. A few reasons. One, it's a little rude, and it's just bad charging etiquette to leave your car at a stall if it's not charging or if it's full. Two, I wanted to get the comforts of shade. And three, of course, is the charging overages. The idle fees are $1 a minute. So you have been warned, $1 a minute at Tesla Superchargers. We are at Belmont Park, and we are hoping for the best on getting parking, which...
In 500 feet, your destination will be on the right.
Okay, we can end her. We're done with that. But this is a crazy parking lot, and looks crazy busy. Cool coaster, though. How old is it?
1925.
1925. That's an old coaster. We are at Belmont Park. One of the oldest roller coasters in the U.S. right there. We're going to ride it. Tons of other stuff going on. Very cool. All right, for this leg of our road trip, you can see our Tesla right over there, family in the foreground. We are going from the Hyatt Mission Bay all the way to SeaWorld, which I think is just beyond those trees. So we are going to use tens of seconds to get there and maybe 1 watt-hour per mile. We'll see. Nice car, though. Look at that. All shiny. Made the trip just well. Pretty good. This is going to be the longest road trip in Tesla history. All right, let's hop in. Let's get this thing navved out so we don't get lost. You got it in there?
I think we would be
See, oh no. Let's get this navved out. See how long we got to go. It's measured in feet. We're going to arrive with 49% of the battery, and we're at 49% of the battery, so that's a good sign. 5 minutes. It's actually 1.3 miles. I thought it was closer.
Because we have to look at all the loopy-loop stuff we have to do.
Look at all the loopy-loop stuff we have to do. All right, so we got to pay attention. All right, so we got to SeaWorld early, and we got the last charging spot to charge one of 4 Teslas in these spots. Our hotel had charging, but just wall outlets. We had to bring our own charger, and I forgot. Can you imagine? I had a Tesla YouTuber, and I forgot my charger. So we're going to charge here today, hopefully for free. I'm not sure, but pretty cool that we got the last spot, and it's right near the front entrance. So we should be good to go. Let's get her plugged in. All right, so what is this? Just plug and play? So we've got Siemens units.
Siemens.
Yeah, I know, that's funny. Electric vehicle parking and charging only. We'll take it out. It's wrapped around everything, including the other car here. Excuse the camera work, but I got to do a cable management here and pull it over here. We've got our adapter. This is hard to film, and if only another family member could help. All right, so we've got the adapter in. Do you want to do the honors? Here we go. Moment of truth. Blue. Please charge, please charge, please charge. Do we have to push a button? Is there a button there? It says charging equipment not ready. Didn't you have that last time?
They swim the fastest and use the most power when propelling their nearly 10
just to put a period on what happened this morning, we've got these 4 chargers here, Siemens. They're really old. I have no idea if these cars are charging or not, but in a sea of cars like this at SeaWorld, let's be honest, 4 spots is not enough these days. They could probably fill like 200 spots, 300 spots in Southern California. And so this really is nice and all. It's a nice gesture, but at the same time, I mean, 4 spots with really old chargers with no directions that don't really work and may or may not be charge point when you've got all these cars here, that is unacceptable, and that is not the future. So do better, SeaWorld. You got to have more chargers. This whole bank right there should be filled with chargers. Oh, and just to let you know, we did not park in that spot. Once we realized we couldn't charge there and it wasn't working for us, I don't know if it's working for these folks or if they're deciding to just make it look good and plug in, and whether they're getting juice or not, I have no idea, but we decided to move the car right here. We just pulled it forward, so no big deal. Hey, so the irony is not lost on us. We are walking down the streets of San Diego in the lamp district? Gas lamp district. Moments away, like steps away from Petco Park. And the San Diego Padres are about to take the field in about 10 minutes. And look what we're decked out in the streets of San Diego. People are looking at us like, I think you're in the wrong city.
Or they're confused what game they actually
Right.
want
Are you guys going to the right game? All right, so we're in downtown San Diego. As you can see over there.
No, don't go in that way.
We are heading inside the car. We have not charged since San Clemente, which you saw at the Supercharger. And just wanted to give you an update on what our state of charge is. We're at 41%. And we are at 87 miles on this 2019 Tesla Model 3 SR Plus. So still, I think our gamble paid off when we were in San Clemente and charged or overcharged, so we had some around town charge. Off to the hotel we go.
You won!
We have not done any charging while down here. So the last time we charged, you saw in San Clemente, I overcharged on purpose so that we would have enough driving around, battery, and any, loss or anything like that. So the big trick here to not lose battery range while you're, leaving your car in a hotel parking lot for hours, or even in the heat at SeaWorld or whatever, is turn off cabin overheat protection and turn off Sentry mode. It'll kind of lock in your battery. You're not going to lose much then. So we haven't, and we're at 34% right now. You can see right there. Or we are at 72 miles on this 2019 Model 3 SR Plus. This is the plan so far. I have a feeling this is what I want to do today. We're going to go to, we have never been to the Supercharger, and you know us, we like to keep adding Superchargers to our list. So we're going to go to this Supercharger, which is not too far away. In fact, it's 15 miles or 25 minutes away. We will arrive at 23% state of charge, so we'll burn off a little more, which is good because you want to charge more on the bottom portion of the battery. However, we're going to do something that we have, pretty much advocate against, and that is we're going to do a deep charge up here because we want to make it all the way home. And this is a lower range Tesla, so we're going to try to make it all the way home from that location. So that's our plan. We're going to see if it works. That's the human generated plan. Let's see what Tesla thinks we should do instead. Okay, so it's come up with its plan, and it's not too different from my plan, although it's taking us to a Supercharger we've already been to. That's no fun. So yeah, it's further up the road, which makes a little sense. It wants us to burn a little more of our battery. But so it wants us to make one stop at Carlsbad. We've already been to that Supercharger. 18% state of charge is the arrival. And then we would arrive at our Santa Clarita Supercharger also with 18% on the one charge. So I understand that play. I totally get it. We're kind of doing something similar. but at the same time, we want to go to a different supercharger. And so I think we're going to do it our way. I think we're going to stretch it a little bit. We're probably going to arrive home at like maybe 10% state of charge instead of 18%, because we've got to go a little bit. We've got to go like this amount of distance here more without charging. So that's the plan. It's not too far off from Tesla's plan. So I like to see that, you know, we're kind of on the same page here. Coming up on Carmel Mountain Road. It's north of San Diego. It's a 24 stall V3. We can see them right here off to the right. I don't know if the camera picked it up. Maybe a little bit right there. Busy for sure, but we should get a spot.
Now
and
turn right.
Because it's a V3 250, we are good to go with not worrying about sharing. So, not seeing what we got here. I think there's a Vons, but man, it looks like there's a lot of different options here.
Destination is on the right.
A Mexican grill.
Subway.
Pet hospital. Subway, you said?
There's a Subway and a Starbucks.
And a Starbucks. Oh, this is a great little location. This is awesome. Oh yeah, Starbucks right there. Fish place. So we're gonna hook up, charge, and we're hopefully gonna get enough to get home. So this is gonna be a little bit deeper charge than we're used to, and certainly not what we advocate on a regular road trip. We like doing the 5% to 65 to 70%, but this one's gonna be closer to 90, I think. But we're trying to get this short range Model 3 home on one stop. And everyone's freaking out. Oh no, he's gonna park next to me, it's gonna share. No, it's not. There is actually there is something to that, and that's if the entire station is full of Teslas, then there's a possibility of it sharing. Well, I'll give you a full tour of this in a second here, but let's get plugged in and then navigate it home. You got enough there? No? What is the deal with this trip? That's actually a pretty short cord, it seems. Because even that is...
Too far over.
It's too far over? Well, I don't know. Look at that. That's not too bad.
Look at that sun.
All right, we are plugged in. It says high use supercharger. It's only going to allow us 80%. But the trick for that is, of course, just sliding this over to whatever you want. They're just kind of recommending. So we're going to do that to 90. We are currently at 20% state of charge, or on this SR Plus 44 miles. There it says high usage supercharger station, which I tend to agree with. So we're going to navigate to home. We are navigated to our Tesla Supercharger in Santa Clarita. It's crunching the numbers, trying to figure out how long we need to stay here. Still crunching numbers. There we go. Well, it wants us to stop at Carlsbad, which I'm not a fan of. Remove all charging stops. Let's see what it tells us now. Well, it's still crunching the numbers. We didn't have very far from the hotel. Well, we're just going to let it charge. It says next time, navigate to Supercharger. We did, and we just didn't have very far from the hotel to the Supercharger for it to give it enough time to really warm it up. But we're still pulling at 131 kilowatts, not too bad. For the new users, for some reason, they go by miles per hour. We're at 570 miles per hour, and we've already added 35 miles since we got here, which is pretty good. So we're going to charge to what we charge, and hopefully we'll get home. I am at Carmel Mountain Road Supercharger. It's a 24 stall. It first opened in May of 2022. Huge installation all along this back row of basically a Vons parking lot, but there's Starbucks, Subway, there's a Mexican place, there's all kinds of stuff here to do. There's a bank. I mean, you could get a lot done in this parking lot alone. And it's a V3 250 kilowatt supercharger, so no worrying about sharing unless the entire bank is full, complete to the max, and it's hot outside. You don't need to stagger. Just go ahead and charge. Any location is fine. As you can see over here, There are a ton of Teslas all lined up. So lots of food options here at Carmel Mountain Road in San Diego. We are just charging to full, which is unlike us on a road trip, but we want to get home on this one stop alone. So we're doing something a little unusual for road tripping. Thank you so much for watching Tesla Tips and Trips. All right, we are charged to 90%, which goes against our typical protocol for road trips, but we want to get home on this one charge. We are estimated to arrive to our Santa Clarita Supercharger at 12% in the can or in the buffer. We'll see how that goes throughout the course of the trip. Usually the first 5 minutes of driving after a supercharging session, you actually notice that change a little bit. Usually goes up a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. So we're going to unplug. We've added 33 kilowatt hours. And right now we've slowed down to 20 kilowatts. So it's pretty slow right now. No reason to stay any longer. Let's go unplug and head home. All right, let's get this thing unplugged. Back in its holster. Taking a look again one more time. Huge installation here at Carmel Mountain Road. It's going. Looks like that's a limo. It's got licensing for limo purposes or airport services. So great location. Really, really great location. Lots of services. I definitely recommend it. All right, we're unplugged. Let's go. Remember when I said it adjusts the calculation and all that stuff once you start driving? I've never seen it wildly different like this. It went from 12% arrival to 38% arrival, and we're currently at 88% on the battery. So I think we way overcharged. We'll see how this ends up when we get home, but it's going to be somewhere between 12% and 38%. I don't know. Thanks for joining us on the ride, though. Change plans. We're going to take the 405 instead of the 5. The nav is now down to 13% arrival at home. However, we're going to take the 405 now, and this is all going to change. So we're going to see what happens here in real time.
Especially because she's going to object for a while.
Yeah. So we're going to take the 405.
Stay on Interstate 5.
Mainly because it's more comfortable for us to drive. We're used to it. And downtown looks like a mess right now, so I'm not quite sure why she's saying that, but so we're going to take the 405, go through LAX area, all that stuff. There's more carpool lanes that way, and we're about to see what this changes into from 13% arrival, but it was all the way up to 38% at one point. So now it's back down to what it originally estimated, which is really bizarre. Now it's down to 12, 11.
Well, we're in the 405
we're also
now.
changing. It's going to have to recalculate here. So before we freak out, and we're going to hit traffic, and traffic is usually not a battery killer.
Take the California 133 south exit on the right.
Yeah, she wants us to go back to the 5 now.
Yeah, so it's going to be a while before we
So
know.
she's going to be angry at us for a little bit. Now we have 11% arrival. All right, it finally has us staying on the 405 north. So look at the update now. 4% state of charge arrival. In about an hour and whatever that is.
To stay on Interstate
26 minutes.
I need to drive here. Okay. We're at 83 miles on the battery, or 39% state of charge right now. We've jumped up to 4% now. So we'll see how it kind of evens out. We're going to be hitting traffic here in a little bit, and we should gain some stuff back there. That's the San Fernando Valley. We are in the Sepulveda Pass, heading northbound, and we can see it's a little hazy today. That's actually not bad, considering Los Angeles smog and haze and all that stuff. And the question is, are we going to make it? It literally just ticked over to 2%. 2% arrival. It's been hovering around 3% for the longest time, and after we just went up the hill in the Sepulveda Pass, we're now at 2%. We were at 4% for a little bit. So we are not quite sure if we're going to make it. 14% state of charge right now. We've got 30 miles on the battery, 24 miles to go. We're definitely cutting it closer than we've ever cut it in this car. This is the first time we've seen this on the screen while in transit. I remember this happening, showing up in the driveway one time, but we're still 18 miles away with 24 miles of charge left, so we are definitely pushing it. So we have 14 miles on the battery, 11 miles to actually drive, and we are going uphill. So this is literally the closest we've ever cut it in over 4 years of Tesla ownership.
I think we turned red now.
6%. Still has us home, or near home anyway, at 2%. And once we crest here, we're going to do some regenning because we need it. Am I nervous? Well, this just popped up on the screen again. So, yeah, I'm a little nervous, despite owning this car for quite a long time. It's also hot. It's 101 degrees. I've got the AC going, but I think we're going to be reducing it here soon. We have made it up the major hill, so that's a good concern out of the way. I've reduced our air conditioning down to 70 Fahrenheit and 4 fan speed. It's getting pretty hot in here, 102, but we're not too far from home. It still has our arrival at 2%. We are currently at 4%. So, wish us luck. We're still a little bit of ways from home, 8 miles from home, 9 miles on the battery.
We do have 2 bailouts, right?
Yeah, local. We have 2 local bailouts, which would be pretty funny, 2 miles from our house. All right, we've made it to our exit. We're at 4% state of charge on the battery. We have a
Now take exit 170 on the right.
We have a 3% estimated arrival, and it's all city streets now.
1,000 feet, turn right onto Magic Mountain Parkway.
We have a bailout supercharger right here if we needed it, and we also have one not too far away from our house and from here. So far so good.
Now turn right onto Magic Mountain Parkway.
So in the last 70 miles, some of the things that I did to Hypermile is just, first of all, reduce your speed. Speed is the biggest battery killer. The other thing is I recently, the last 10 minutes, it's 105 outside, I did reduce the AC. The other thing is, when we were supercharging in North San Diego, we got, what was it, 11, 12% estimated that we would arrive at home. We did change the route, so that changed things a little bit. But at one point between North San Diego and the route change, it had our estimate at 38% arrival, which is wildly crazy. There's no way, and I knew that it wasn't going to happen. So I think me charging to 90% was the smart move, certainly. Otherwise, we would have stopped somewhere else. But I think we are okay. We'll see how it goes. If you're wondering what AC does, even changing it to just 72 Fahrenheit only saves 0.3% of battery. So AC is really not a big factor. We are passing our last possible bailout, the Santa Clarita Supercharger. It's roughly 2 miles from our house. We have 3% remaining on the battery for state of charge. It has us arriving roughly at 3%. I'd say 2% to our house. And I did crank up the AC again, so I think we're going to be okay. It is uphill, though. Do a YouTube channel, they said. It'll be fun, they said. I mean, the adrenaline rush is huge. Arrival at home at 1%. 1%. This car has never seen 1%. The good news is, besides the heart palpitations we've been experiencing,
Right onto Angelica Place.
the good news is this should calibrate the bottom end of the battery for us. So always look at the silver lining. This is just thrilling. I know how Tom Cruise feels now when he jumps out of an airplane. It's just the adrenaline rush is real, man. All right, badge of honor. Battery very low. Vehicle consumes power while idle. We know that. We're going to turn off the AC here. We arrived at 1% state of charge 2 miles on the battery. It's a badge of honor for this car. It's the lowest it's ever been, and it's going to be plugged in here momentarily because I definitely don't want to have it sit too long at this state of charge. But man, badge of honor, look at that. So cool. What a way to end a road trip. Woo! Yeah! That was a rush. All right, I am literally pulling into the garage now to plug it in at 1% state of charge. Our 2019 Tesla Model 3 SR Plus has done its job. North San Diego all the way to Santa Clarita, California. Nice work. The one thing I was concerned about along the way, yeah, 1%, 2% should be no problem, right? It's been a long time since we've been down to the bottom portion of the battery. So I had no idea how it was calibrated, how accurate it was going to be, if we were going to run out at 4%, whatever. But we got it down to 1%. I think that's fair to say that it's about as low as you can get to calibrate the bottom portion of the battery. So overall, this is probably a good thing. I'm looking at a message right now. Vehicle consumes battery power while idle. You saw that a second ago. We recommend charging now. So as soon as I am done with this closing statement, I am going to plug this thing in and let it charge for a little bit to get it back up to, you know, a healthy level. And that should be a good deal. So I hope you enjoyed this road trip / adrenaline rush. That's basically what it was. You know, we had a nice, leisurely, relaxing vacation, and then the drive home, boom, 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 boom. It was fun. My wife was on board too. She's like, I was listing all the bailout options. We got, you know, San Fernando, we've got Newhall, we've got Santa Clarita. She's like, no, we're good. We're fine. We'll make it. I'm glad it didn't end up on a flatbed. Let's just put it that way. I hope you enjoyed the rush that was this video. I hope you enjoy all our videos. And thank you so much for watching this far. Of course, if you have watched this far, there's something you like about us. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It just takes seconds out of your day, but it means the world to our channel, as well as hitting the like button on this video. And go the extra mile if you want to know when things are new on the channel. Hit that bell. Boom. It's going to give you a little notification every time. So I will catch you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.